Okay, you can do a little C playthrough. This is now Old Faroe Dunes, or Faroe Dunes, however you want to call it, by Sindra, and we're now into round 2 of judging. So I'm going to do videos just for these ones. They might be a little bit quicker because you've probably had feedback from other people, but I wanted to give a little bit in case anybody had been missed out. Alright, so Syndra's courses I know pretty well. I started off absolutely loving some kind of the more natural style Syndra courses. So I remember West Coast was probably my absolute favourite, and you've got a bit of a good idea of what to expect with them. That said, we're going to leap into it, give it a go, see how we play. I'm going to go with pin 3, just at random. Oh, seemed to take me back out. Anyway, all of what we see is going to be, this is my first impressions. I don't think I've played the course yet. And yeah, just see where it takes us. I'm going to give you all the feedback I've got, both good and kind of nitpicky. Immediately this is taking me back to that West Coast sort of vibe. Really like the waist area and the way you've planted it, and it feels, it's a very classic Syndra opening hole. Yeah, the waist feels like it belongs. I love the way your opening holes tend to open out on the rest of the whole course. It's always a good look. Off the tee, looks great. I would question this bit of land being high. I don't think everything is flowing down here. This kind of really spiky peak, I don't know. It just jars a tiny bit, but I love how far we can see on this side. I mean, this is a stunning opening tee shot. Clubhouse and rock wall again gives me lovely West Coast vibes, and I think we're back in Highlands, I presume anyway. Some lovely little planters down here, and here I've seen retaining wall used really poorly on, or like just for the sake of being used. There's a bit of that here, but the fact that they're used as planters makes sense, and I like the way you've done it with bushes rather than flowers so we can see them. I love that you put the clubhouse where we can't, where we have to look at it. It is very tight up there in terms of where you put the clubhouse. I mean, we're into fantasy, but this is kind of realistic. Have we got OB? Okay, we've got OB in around the clubhouse area, that's fine, and the back of this green, which makes sense. I still would have rather this, I don't think this actually adds anything, this peak here. I'd rather that would drop down. I think that would help, that would make it work a bit better. I guess it's funneling balls back into the fairway, but I don't think we really need it. I'd probably prefer, I don't know. Personally, I'd have probably lost this bunker and brought a bit more fairway around behind it, because I don't think you're really ever hitting to this tiny narrow bit of fairway. Well, I don't know, maybe you are and it's a stupid play, but and the second thing I'll say about this hole, that I mean, my playthroughs I tend to say kind of a lot of things at the start and then we see them over and over again. I feel like the fairway is curving a little too much. I'd rather it were like smoother curves coming around here and here. I don't mind that it's coming in and around the hazards, but I think let's give us a bit more playable space and just a touch less of the winding. I mean, why are we going in here? If I hit to here and bounce through, I would feel quite justified about being annoyed by that. That said, I do enjoy the subtle undulations in the fairway. That little mound would give you pause to think. I think 2 would play off this tee. And they've got a very fast. Hey. And that's a nice forgiving first tee shot. Okay, we don't quite get the full majesty of the approach shot because I've hit such a poor tee shot. But really cool plot. Very Syndra-esque. Lots to like here. And visuals are always going to be superb. I think the green's interesting. There's enough sloping. There we go, we found our tempo a bit more. Lovely look on that approach. Hopefully that sticks. Yeah. That's just a really good natural feel. Nice first hole. Mountains in the back look good. I'm not sold on the trees. I don't think we need these at all. Because on the flyover we've just had, I hadn't seen one and I thought it looked great. 171's a nice speed. Stay. Ah, that wasn't a good putt. Oh, we didn't deserve birdie off the tee shot anyway. Yeah, fun first hole. Okay, par 4. Again, I think the trees detract. I would rather be seeing all the way out here. And there's so few on the course. I think if you are going to go with them, let's have a big forest of all the trees. Clump them really tightly together. I think you'll have just a much more natural and realistic look rather than the okay. Really like this. All of this work down here is great. It looks as natural as you can get it. The planting's really good. Okay, I think I see why the trees are there. So the trees presumably are there to block the tee shot down to here. But are we allowing that to play? It would be risky. No, they're to block the play down to this part of the fairway and running all the way down here, I assume. But I like that you've given a runoff behind that anyway to further protect against it. Okay. At this point I feel like the trees are kind of more because of that. I'll be honest with you, I don't love the fairway going all the way out here. It feels, if we if we're looking at where the hole goes, I'm fine with having a gentle wind around here, but I think you could lose the bunkers and bring it in. Like, we're really forcing a very wide angle here that I don't think we need to. Can I drop down one further? I think so. And there's another very fast. Let's go check out this bunker. Tempo is always off at the moment. Oh, 192. Well, I've played this very badly. Let's see how we go. That might make it. We get a better view. Ah, we had a slight side hill lie. That's alright from where we were. We are certainly seeing all parts of this course. Really enjoying, again, the little slopes around the green. I think are great. And I think you've given this green more space to breathe than I think you've done before and than other people have. Again, I'd like to see that fairway just smoother out the edge. I'm not sure I get why it's coming out to here. Is that as a runoff and it runs down to there? Yeah, I don't know, I think it would look better with that kind of smoother wrapping. But I think I get why it's there. Yeah, the more I see the trees in the background, the more they're kind of... I just feel it would be better without. I wonder at what stage you decided you needed the trees and whether it was playtesting this hole and then dotted a few around. But if we have like a huge, really compacted forest around here, or I guess it's a lot of space to fill and you've probably used a lot of plant meter already. Well, at least we had 2 pars rather than the 2 double bogeys we've probably deserved from those tee shots. This is stunning. I really like the little bridge, and the way you've done that is outstanding. This fairway and the shaping works much better for me. Now the green itself. Yeah, I mean again here I think I don't really understand why we're doing that tighter turn. It's kind of, it feels like we're to provide a pin position here and here. It would work much better if we went here and then maybe mounded this and then it could come into this bunker. I mean possibly we have, but I think let's just keep it green, it would be more interesting. It would just look better. Anyway, we're all flowing down towards the back. The planting and bunker work in the background's great. There's a few bumps in here which makes me think you've missed a few bunker brushes, because that tends to be where the, I don't know, the jagged shapes don't quite overlap and they don't sit down. But we're now, I mean, I'm not taking anything off that because it's not really something I can see. As in, that's me going looking for things. And if it's outside of playable view, I don't care. Planting and framing up this side's just both sides, and I love actually the way you've brought in this is genius in that it blocks out your sight line and just makes you focus on this. So actually that's probably the best decision. Well, it's a really good decision, certainly. Okay. See if we can actually hit a shot for a change. Hey! And hopefully that feeds down. Now I really like that you've given an option on the slope on this green to try to, yeah, we've gone slightly further left than we'd have wanted. But to try to feed it down to that back pin. And actually, the subtlety of these slopes is great. Ideally I'd want to be seeing that coming in from this side a little bit more, but with the bunker that's hard to do. I'd have probably tried to bring it in from here. But then you're getting quite close to that pin. I don't know, just thoughts. I mean, if we can bring slopes in from outside the green, they tend to work a bit better. Somewhere out here. I think you're going back at... So we're going to have a little bit, I'm just trying to find the spot. We're going to have a couple of areas where basically all of, like the low point is on your green, because everything's flowing down here, in here, down here, in here, so it's around about here or here. Ideally we'd have all the slopes eventually running off. Tends to lead to better greens because I don't really have a problem with this one going back uphill here. Oh, this is a minor nitpick, I'm not really too fussed. Lovely. But yeah, minor nitpick. If you can get green slopes coming off the green, that tends to work a little better. Alright, uphill and away from the lighting now, which is always a bit trickier. I like that we're going back up towards that second hole which we've already seen. Yeah, I think kind of saying the same thing about the surfaces and the way they're going in and out. I don't know, I think we can do it smoother. I think one smooth line up here and round, because it's not as if anyone's laying up here, it just jars a little. And it's kind of a stylistic thing, but starting to wonder whether I need to tone my graphics down a touch. Now I'm interested to know, looking at this pen, to what extent did it matter whether I went left or right? That little mound's good. Again, I think I'd have liked you to bring it into the outside contours a bit more. If we can join that with there, so that this mound extends down into the bunker, and by raising this bit up, I think it will look more natural. So as is, if I'd gone way left, then I'm kind of coming down that slope a little bit more. This side I've got a bit more of a backstop. Yeah, I think the angle mattered. Not hugely, but enough. Yeah, we're definitely chugging just a little. That's a really well done uphill hole though. Those uphill holes are tough. I really don't want to turn the graphics down on this course, but I think I might have to. Terrain work here is fantastic. Yeah, the trees really aren't doing it for me. That'll be the last time I mention those. Love this bunker here, love the beach, love the planting down the side of here. I could have lost the fence, would have been fine with that not being there. I think one nitpick I might have is for how many undulations and dunes there are around it. I'd have liked to have seen you bring a few more of them into the playable surfaces. So again here, like, if we can have a mound there, or particularly a short four where you're kind of saying to people, drive it, but there's risks if you don't. Like, let's make me really think about my layup. I'd have almost liked a bit more space on the layup as well, because I'm not laying up to there, it's probably going here. I do like that little slope in front, so that makes me think, well, based on this slope, I want to be laying up as far right as possible. So down here, do I get around it? Maybe a little. And the further left I go, the less I get around it. So really good pin position. Yeah, I'm not loving the little funnel off areas for runoffs. As in, I like... sorry, that's unfair. I like them, I don't like that they are really obviously that's what it's for. I think, again, if we smooth edge out, it will all look a lot better. Now, I really want to go for this, but I feel like that's going to require either a slow driver, which I do not have in the bag, or fast 2 with loft and hope, which I also don't think I've got. So let's go here. I think still a fairly risky tee shot, but I'd rather try to get around that. Fast slow, well, when your tempo's bad. Now, yeah, I was going to say I was hoping that was out of bounds. I really might have to lower the graphics, which will be a shame. Yeah, I think I'm going to have to. Anyway, we'll go second ball and see how we go. I like that I've got a pitch in, because that means that I could have probably thought through my tee shot a touch more. Ah, and there we go, it's smooth again. So yeah, a little bit of chugging there, but I think, I mean, I don't think it's chugging because you've planted too much or anything. I think it's chugging because I'm trying to say, kind of record video and play. Just in case you're worried that that might knock marks off. It won't. Yeah. It's a really good short par 4. I think it's a great distance that kind of tempted me to go for it, and in a different wind I probably would have done. Or with just a little more wind. Or wind into would have been... Go, 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 go. Thank you. We only dropped 1. Let's call that a birdie. Alright. And... stunning looking hole. Okay, I think really my only critiques are kind of how you've done your fairway surfacing and where you've done. I think there are options here. I can hit to this portion of fairway, or I can hit over to this portion. I think you can do the surfacing to accommodate those options a bit better. I think the options are all there, it's now kind of linking them together so it doesn't feel like, well, I can hit this shot here, or I can hit this shot here, or I can hit a shot here. Kind of offer the little bit in between, like, what if I hit a driver here, could I run through, could we bring that slope a little more in? With that in mind, this bunker doesn't sit as naturally as maybe it could. I think if you'd sloped this whole fairway right to left and brought fairway all the way around here, cambered hard right to left so that's leaving me with a red slope or something along those lines. Bear in mind we're CC difficulty as well, so give them a fairway to hit if they want to hit a 2-wood layup. But they're punished on the approach by a lie that's pushing them towards the water. I think you'll have a better hole. Equally, can we maybe incorporate this mound into fairway, lower it a touch, or raise... I think really I'd probably raise the fairway around it, so that you can leave the driver over to here, but really your A1 position is trying to get down to this bit, which we make difficult one way or another. Yeah, I think my main critiques are where you cut your fairway, and that's kind of a personal preference. But also, I think I'm going to run through, aren't I? Oh no. I think that's a more intimidating tee shot than it looks more intimidating than it actually is, which I like. So where you've cut the surfaces and also bringing the mounds in, I think would work more for you. Because it just looks like you've got all of this wonderful links land all around it, and then we've just flattened everything. And I think it would play much more interesting if you bring more of the slopes into play, and let's have big general cambers rather than slight green slopes. I don't love that this is blind. I can kind of understand why. I think maybe we maybe gone too far, and maybe it's not blind from here. I don't think so. I think it's blind whatever. I also think at this stage I would have probably, if your fairway apron is this wide, we're only really using it as a path, so don't have it, because it's not what we're running a ball up there and bouncing it on, which is really what the apron's for, or for a runoff. If it's running off and down there, then we've kind of got a bit of a, we've got some weird sculpting or something anyway. I think I'd have made this an island as a green, or surrounded it with a bit of fairway, probably bring the bunker more in here and then a fairway apron round. I don't know, just this, it looks a bit odd. Didn't really want the fast, but we'll hopefully get away with it. My game is built around protecting against a fast downswing. Love the planting around the edge. It's really good. Just got no critiques on the planting other than the trees. But another really good hole. I mean, the stuff I'm giving you is just nitpicks, and I think it will help, hopefully, but they are really minor nitpicks. Don't get this bit of fairway here at all, because we're not playing to it. But I really like the little natural mound you've got. Yeah, fairway on this hole has some things. It's kind of going everywhere. I mean, now that we stand up and look at the sky part, you can see how much they're going in and out and in and out and in and out and in and out. I think if you compare this to, I don't know, say Fennyard Keep or New Highland Dunes or something, and just go to Scoutcam and look at where the fairways go there, because I think you are doing more options here than you've probably ever done before, and the general look from the tee is fantastic. But I think we can house those options within the hole a bit better. But, I mean, I don't know if anyone's ever going there, and if they are, why they're going there. I don't know. I don't think really very much, this portion of the fairway doesn't need to be here, this portion of the fairway doesn't need to be here. And we can probably just run it up and you have a better look. It looks good, don't get me wrong, but... Okay, so is this the... Oh, we're up 20 odd feet. Is that like the fast option, and then that's the try to hit the gap? I'm going to go with this one. I figure that's just a standard fast. But I really like that natural mound within the fairway. Having said all of that, this little thing, big fan of. I would have liked and hoped to have seen more. I mean, now we start looking at this, and like I say, you are doing options, but this is very forced, running all the way, the fairway all the way out here, just to give us a layup spot. I just think we don't need it, or we can do it more subtly. I'm trying not to use the same word natural over and over again, but this fairway just looks like it's got a lot of arms and legs, which we don't really tend to see. And most people aren't going to be laying up anyway, and if they are, they're I get that it's a layup for that far right pin, but I just don't feel like very many people are going to use it. They might. It's not really about utility, it's about it just I think, fitting with the rest of the hole. Maybe we just didn't want to do... Oh, I don't know. You've got my thoughts. This is a really awkward shot, because I'm not quite going to get there, I don't think. I love this mound and the way it's protecting this green. In fact, this is your best green, I think, so far. And this one I have absolutely zero problem with the apron being quite narrow. I'm going to probably like it to the apron to come around a bit more, but because it would then offer a little more access to this. But no real issues with it. I mean, if we go to here, are we leaving a flop? What you can see though is the amount that I'm considering my options on this shot, which means it's a well thought out shot. I think we go for it. I got the fast I wanted. Just clear that little mound. Now that I will take, because that was a relatively risky shot. But you've offered me a choice to work it and really try and get it beyond. I'd probably like this mound coming into here a little bit more. That's the tiniest of nitpicks. No, that's never high enough. Still, 2-putt birdie, and we are pretty happy with that. Haven't really checked out the normal bunkers yet. Sculpting on this one's okay. I think we can do better. We can raise the back of this a little bit more. But yeah. Front one's good. I think you can still raise around the edges a little bit, but it's a little bit more, but it's good. Again, really likes that hole, and I think actually it's one of those where a little less would have been more in terms of the options that you've given us. That's really unfortunate with the lighting on this one. It would have looked so much better into the sun. But I really like that you're bringing the waste bunkers in. Planting in the back is good. The trees... Oh, and I love the little road. That's one of those nice little touches in that you're seeing it, but it's not in your face. And a lot of people might have made that kind of the centerpiece for the hole and done everything possible to show you that. I really like that you've kept that subtle. Because that's a touch of class right there. Now, we do have undulation, and oh my goodness, look how well this hole works because of it. So I can hit up here and try and shoot that little gap, but I'm bearing in mind the slope, so I'm not just thinking about whether I can And I think this is where I really would love to see you go more with your designing. Because I'm not just thinking about whether I can hit this option, I'm thinking about can I hit it here and flow through, and exactly where I hit it, because I do not want to be there. Slightly worried about the rock in there. I don't know if we need it, and we're potentially going to get bounces off it, or we can be laying up here, but even then we're going to have a weird sort of lie. And then we check out the pin and we see that slope, and I'm like, well, I definitely want to be over here. This right here is your best hole so far, and it's not even close in terms of design, because you've used one major feature, the right to left sloping fairway, and you've banked the fairway around it really naturally. We don't have any of the zigzagging in and out. A little bit up here, but that doesn't matter. The green is really cleverly done. Yeah, this hole I'm all in on. Can I hit driver up this side? Maybe if we down loft. Oh, do I want to? Yeah, it'll probably leave me a wedge. Maybe sit. All the planning in the world. Okay, well now this is a tough shot. I think something up there. And that slope down to behind is great as well. I'd like to see this slope come into this part of the green a bit more again, but the way you've done it with this one is brilliant. I feel like the slopes kind of hit the green and then die here, whereas you'd expect it to go a little bit more in, and it would also help you see the green from quite a way away and go and know / expect what it's going to do. Oh, we are really chugging on frame rate here. Still, hopefully a chip and a putt. Yep, got the 95%, and hopefully we par my favourite hole. Oh, we're very close to... Oh, this is a very tidy pin. It's very touch and go. I love it. Great hole. Huge fan of that. And then I think I'd seen this one before. Yeah. Again, all in on this one. You've travelled, and for what I think was basically a transitional hole, of just like, let's get back up to this set piece. That works really nicely. Bunker shapes, maybe on your standard bunkers I'd like to see a bit more jaggedness. I know you've always tended to use these shapes. I don't think they really fit on this course. So, that's going to be 18, I presume. Love this green shape. So, and this is like windy, but it makes sense in and amongst where it is. And oh dear goodness, this is tough. Okay. Stunning look off the tee again, rock walls immaculate, framing's great. Yeah, it's fantasy, but it's believable. You've done a great job with it. Pretty happy with that. Don't kick too far. That's alright. That's a really scary shot as well. And, I mean, I play on CCA, that's not... We've had worse. That's fine. I'd love this to go on CCA. Come on, turn back in now. Thank you. And the greens roll really nicely and true. Like, if you can, they're perfect level for what I would want. Admittedly, putting tends to be my strength, but you can see where they're going and what they're doing. Love the green site, love that you haven't wound a bit of fairway up through there. All in on this part of the hole. I have a... So this wasty area It looks a little different to these ones. There's a bit more. Oh, I don't know. Maybe not. Yeah, I think there's a bit more scrappiness here. I mean, scrappiness in the sense of not as much sand. Not as in it's not been done well, but I preferred the look you had over here, where there's more sand and fewer little bits of land. This one I think you could, and again we're going deep into nitpick territory here, but I think this one with the rocky starved texture works a little less well. The look is great. I think I'd have liked you to have raised this land up behind it a bit more. I get why you haven't, but it's just catching my eye on the flyovers a tiny bit. Tough tee shot. Kind of gone back to flat again. I think I'd have liked one, probably just the one central bunker. Give me a bit more space around here, particularly if we're going CC. Because this is, not, I mean, not impossible I don't think, but it's tight. We'll hopefully get a kick. And yet I think some of those undulations are really tricky, and it just takes a lot of time and effort. But for how flat everything's been, this is suddenly a couple of very pronounced spikes. Yeah, nitpicky. Alright, good green yet again. Bowling in on down. Big fan of the bunker short. That's also nice as a short, kind of semi-penalising a miss short, but not absolutely screwing people over. I love the way you've incorporated here the bunker into the green, works really nicely. Okay. Great look coming into this hole, they always are. That needs some love. Go on. It was kind of bump coming in from the left. Oh yeah. I like the way you've rewarded on that green, because it was a tough tee shot, and for that pin I think that's rewarding that nicely. Oh, this is cool. Yeah, the course works so well without trees. I just kind of wish you'd have, I think, almost trusted that it does. Skyline fairway is brilliant. Huge fan of this. I could sit and look at this tee shot for quite some time. Nope, don't think there is nothing I would change about that. Undulations in the fairway are cool. They kinda, and that's not a knock on this hole. I think they're great here. They kind of come out of nowhere a little because we haven't had them as much on other holes. I wish we'd have had more of this. But I mean that shot is awesome. We've got a little lighthouse, of course we do. Okay, what sort of a lie are we going to get? Run down a touch. And that's a really fun tee shot. And I love that you've been generous with it, and it's kind of a what slope do we end up on. Green shape a little bit funky. I think I'd have lost the bunker. I don't think it adds much other than makes you be really kind of even more precise to a back pin, which I don't think we need. I'd have lost this and made it a more kind of curvy green shape. I think that would have made it fit better. Feels like we're just jamming bunker in to justify 1, 2, 3, 4 pin positions, if that makes sense, and just make them feel different. Short is great. That's awesome. And the shape of this one, it's, I mean, it's not, but it, well, might be a stock bunker. It kind of looks like one. It's also very flat. I don't know, I think this hole would have been all sorts of better served if you'd lost that little bunker. Love that you can see the clubhouse on that approach as well. I remember playing Dream Team, doing all the Dream Team judging last year, and the thing that I disliked about Gairanga the most was the routing and the fact that it felt really forced. There were some huge walks between tees to green. I don't even need to fly around to know that you haven't done that on this one, because I can keep seeing the next hole from each previous hole, and I absolutely love it. It's a great view again, and I think one of the things I love about what you've done here, that we haven't had as much on some of your other courses. I'm thinking principally of Gairanga. The views kind of all build on one another, so we've played this, that's 10 I think, then 11 goes round. Where was the 11th tee? Yeah, I mean, we're taking a few little liberties with the walk back to 11, but it's nothing, like, it's realistic in that they might have extended back tees or whatever, and I like the way you've done it to 12 as well. And actually it's really cleverly done in that you've got, what, 250 yards maybe between these greens, and you've fitted 3 holes in towards the sun in that space, including a longish 4. I fully approve of this, and yeah, I like the apron here. Makes a lot more sense. Bunker, I think we could have done a bit better with the shape in terms of this tiny little bit of sand and these little dots. I don't know. I don't think you need them. But that said, I do prefer the kind of more ragged bunker look that you've got than you've had sometimes before. I'm also pleased that it looks like maybe you did at one point and you've taken it out. I'm pleased that you don't have a bunker there. I don't think it needed it at all. This hole just looking really simple is perfect. Anyway, shut up Ben, hit a shot. I think down lofting a wedge is probably the way. Particularly given our typical fast downswing. Oh no, we've gone way too far. I was thinking that was quite good in the air. And I really like the green. It's very simple, but there's interest. We've got another one of those spots where, have we? No, I think we're okay. There's a little bit of a low point here that I don't love. I'd have liked that slope to be a bit more consistent, and these bits flowing in here are kind of, I don't know, by all means make them flatter, but I think the general slope is so much this way. That needs to go. Yeah, on the line it was on. Really good hole. Just at a really nice point in the round to have a proper highlight hole. I would typically see that sort of standout par 3 is like maybe 17. I love it breaking up the middle of the back 9. Oof, long par 5. Kind of taking it all in. Okay, right, lots to take on board here. Firstly, I don't love this, but I'm glad that actually it doesn't. The fairway split doesn't really matter. If it was kind of driver to here or driver to here, then that feels a little forced. As it is, I'd have liked to see the fairway shape again be a little more subtle in terms of. I think we can do this differently. I actually think this would be a better place for your little central bunker, and maybe push it on up so that we're thinking about whether we want to go around it or try and risk the coastline and join these bits of fairway. I think there's extra little appendages again that we're not using. I mean, you've got my general drift on that. I don't think I need to speak about it much more. Bridge. Is it the place for a suspension bridge? Probably not, but it's cool. I don't think... yeah. There'll be people who love that. Okay, and hopefully the wind takes that and I can use the slope a little bit to bump on down. Yeah, that's a great tee shot, actually. I would have done the fairway split differently, but it doesn't affect how it played, I don't think. And I like that we've now got a red slope to play with, because I think that would have added some more interest. Little mound in the green, brilliant. I think with this one, it kind of comes through here. I was going to say I'd have probably liked it joined up with some part outside of the green. I can see why you flattened this bit. I'd have probably raised this and made it a little spine coming in from the bunker, or just flattened a lot of bits around it so that you've still got this pronounced edge here, because I think that's the one you really want, but less so around this bit where you don't really need it as much. But that's awesome, and that's the sort of internal contouring I haven't seen as much in your courses before this. I think your green designs are getting way better. Bunker shapes. Yeah, again, I think the more raggedy look would make more sense here, but it's not a knock. The apron, I'd have liked, again, cut the fairway a bit tighter around here, give me more space to land it on and run towards the back pin. I think you'll just get, it's kind of, let's imagine we've got a front or middle pin. If we're hitting a 1-iron into there and maybe we've sloped the land a bit more and we're riding it, that opens up a huge variety of how you can approach a green, rather than we're kind of limited to you hit the green and you stay on, or you're laying up. And I think that's that subtle variety of options, by just making this playable surface a little bit wider, would really lift this course even more. That said, we're in an awkward spot, and I think I am going to try and hit this. I feel like if I can get over that side of the mound, it's probably where I want to be. I wanted a fast. Yeah, I think with a fast that's perfect. As it is, yeah, not quite there. I don't know. I like that I'm still having to hit that sort of precise shot, and you haven't punished me massively for it. I've got to chip in, but I think we could have been allowed to do a little more with that. As it is though, that will do nicely. Planting around the bunkers is low-key good as well. You haven't gone over the top on it. Oh, have we got another drive ball 4? My goodness, you've made the most of this lighting. And you've made the most of this lighting without cheating. Or at least without cheating hard. I don't know, have we gone backwards? I don't feel like... No, we're behind the previous green. And up here... I mean, this is a masterclass in routing from the lighting point of view. Now you see here, I don't mind at all you tucking this so much and kind of pinching this fairway here, because we're a potentially drivable par 4. I think you've got to do that here. This bunker works well. It's less of your kind of stock shapey, not stock shape, as in your cinder bunker, because we see the little U shapes on a lot of your courses. I get it's kind of a signature. I think I would it would have been nice to see move away from it on this one a touch. Downwind, we're definitely going for it. This wind, still think I'm going for it. On the back of an eagle. Got the swing I wanted. Is it going to carry? I don't think it is. Oh, the wind has just pushed it a little too much. So close to being good. But I think I'm okay being in this bunker. I'm kind of hoping you've screwed me over with the slope. Yeah, you've made that shot. This is perfect, CC. Because if I'm hitting that slope, then we're in some trouble. But I've got a little bit of a backstop, which I've not hit. That just flew out way faster than I thought it would do. Probably on a downslope and missed it. I mean, again, this green is great. You're using slopes that I've not seen you use before. The little saddles on either side and those mounds and the way you've brought those in. This is stuff you've not been doing before. And the mounding around this side is great. I'd have loved you to see you kind of bring those mounds a little more into play. Like let's make this run off into a chipping area that's like this. A touch more. I get that's kind of hard to do with the way you wanted this hole to set up. I think how I hit. Oh, it's that first bead is throwing me. I think here. No, it's not that. Yeah, that first bead really pushed it. Still, we'll take a par. But I think that green for other pins is going to be brilliant as well. I'm loving this. This is your best course by some distance. And scary thing is, I still think there's things that you can improve on. Nice wide fairway. I don't know if you need this bit. I have capped this here again. Same sort of thing. At this point I do feel like I've seen this green shape and this angle quite a few times already, where it's that kind of sideways little sinuous green wiggling in and out. I like it. I think it's fitted a number of holes well. Long par 4, I'm not sure this is the green shape I'd be going for. It's a little... I think this sort of green shape works really well for a short par 4 where you've got wedge in and you can be ultra precise. Long par 4 where we've got 7-iron. And that feels a little bit of, it's kind of hit or bust. Oh, here's an uncomfortable shot. I do like the mound in the fairway. I mean, it's there, it's really apparent. You're kind of subtly punishing you didn't go down to the flat bit on the right hand side. Big fan of this. All of the dune work is absolutely outstanding. And are we going back to near where hole 2 was, I think? Lovely. Oh, up to 11 miles. I think I can just hit stock. Oh wow, game chugged big time there. Thank goodness we've gotten away with that. Yeah, I'm not going to hit a much better shot than that. Well, we might not have birdied the last, but we will take that one and run. That's a really tough hole. And I like that you've mixed it in like right behind a drivable par 4. If we're nitpicking, this hole's lovely, but I kind of feel like we've seen this par 3 before. Or I'm going to check the scorecard quickly. Very similar distance to this 12th hole, and it feels very similar because of the lighting direction, and it is beautiful. It looks very similar to, I want to say 2 or 3, I think hole 3, because 2 was the large downhill. Yeah, hole 3. And how long was that one? another 20 yards. Yeah, I feel like you need to do something a little bit more drastic with your par 3 here. Like, let's give us a properly short hole. If we got... Oh, sorry, I keep bringing up scorecard. We've got quite a long one. Similar... Like, these are all playing one club difference, and then this one's the same length. I think that's one area I would definitely be tweaking. Like, let's give us a different length par 3. We've got two that are 195, two that are 170, 180. And we get a fast, so any of that loft work is just pointless. Oh well. It's probably a great shot for a different pin. I do like the way you have the green flowing and that little... I really appreciate the way that the tier is more severe from this side than it is down here. And also that little slope there is great. You've spent a lot more time on your greens, I think, than you have done in... Or maybe that's not fair. I don't know. I think the greens contain a huge amount more interest than they have done in the past. That might be too hard. Make sure it gets up. Oh, come on. Yeah. It is what it is. Nice little touch with the fences at the bottom of the clubhouse area. Okay, 17. This feels like a big transition hole, and we're just trying to get as far up as we can for the last little hurrah. Fairway shape again. I'm not loving... Yeah. Planting's outstanding. The maintenance area is quite a nice touch. But I think in the past we'd have seen you cheat with routing here and try to avoid doing this. A really odd little nitpick. I don't understand why we've got steps here and a bridge here. But a little rough path here is great. So, yeah, those balance each other out nicely. Oh, goodness. Well, we're a par 5, so... Do we need to do fairway around that little mound? I think I'd probably be making the mound bigger, and there's a weird transition thing going on here. I would just join into here. And yeah, this area feels this bit feels forced into an area that's too small. I think what we would be doing is kind of bringing that slope all the way in here and then tucking the green a bit more around it. I don't know, that just feels a touch awkward. 40. Ooh. Let's just play safe. Let's go over here. Yeah, I'm glad I didn't try to go for any more than that. I'm surprised this is playing stroke 18. I guess it's quite short. But I don't think that's a pin I want any part of. I don't know if I even want a part of this layup. I would like a little more of a layup zone somewhere up here. And even, I mean, how far do we have to go back to find a really genuinely safe layup with this wind? Don't think that's tight. This is as tight as it is to lay up with a 6-iron. I think the furthest I'm having to go back to a wedge before I'm in like properly safe layup zone, or I'm playing way out here, which, I mean, it's death for this pin, but I don't know. I love that you've put a bunker in kind of this distance, which is going to be full wedge. All for that. I think I'd have just reduced the footprint of this bunker and certainly this kind of whole surround, so that we've got a little more space in which to... right, okay. Maybe we can get there. No, it's a stupid idea. But I don't... this is all sorts of awkward. At least for someone of my skill level, you're probably way better. I think you're on Euro, so you almost certainly are. Bounce him for me. Thank you. I mean, I like that at least there's the forgiveness that it does bounce in and it's not completely killing me. This rough band is now going to really piss me off, isn't it? If I land in that rough, you are going to hear about it. No, we hopped over. It's all okay. Even that though, that was a fun shot. I don't love that I'm hopping over a tiny bit of rough, but I like that the play there was probably to chip it on and there's the runoff behind. I think really nicely done. Oh, we're at -10. Awesome. Okay, and final hole. Yeah, this is kind of where I thought it would be. Great look. Love that you brought back the waste bunkers. We get a final view over here. I mean, this hole is crafted so well. I don't love the bunker shapes again, and kind of we haven't really seen those fairway bunkers quite so big, I don't think. This one much better because it's planted around it. I think you've just got these kind of clean bunkers. I don't know, I'm not sure we've seen them before. Oh, and we've got out of bounds behind the green. That's a little mean. Having just had a pin, we're now into kind of planning for where your pins are, I think. Whatever pin set we're on 3, if we've just hit 17 and we've just hit a pin that is on a frontier that then falls off behind, I'd be making damn sure that the next pin didn't do exactly the same. I think we could have tweaked that. It's kind of one thing that I would suggest doing is going through and kind of marking out on a piece of paper where are your pins. Are you basically pulling the same trick twice in a row? Fun drive though. God, this looks good. Okay. And I've probably left myself in a really awkward pitch shot. Yep. Oh, and off this slope. And to that downhill. Wow. I want no part of this. I usually hit fast, so I'm hoping that that lands a little short. Oh no, we're gone, I think. Got away with one. Do I have anything more else to add? I like that the little clubhouse area is good. I think it's nice and it's just nice and humble. You've not gone crazy ostentatious. You don't need to. It all fits. I'm not the biggest clubhouse guy, so. Oh, please turn in. Thank you. I'll tell you what, for how badly our tempo started, thank goodness we went down to just high graphics. I mean, okay, I'm just going to load up the rubric thingy that we've got and talk you through where I come down on this. You won't get a mark per se. That takes me. I'll play it again on a different pin and talk through and kind of think through different pin positions or what have you. All right, playability and shot values, really, really good. Like I say, I think you frame. I mean, let's start with the easy one. The aesthetics and environment is top notch. We're not going to see a better one probably in this contest. I think you've absolutely nailed the look you're going for. Trees, don't think fitted, but everything else pretty much spectacular. There are a couple of mounds here and there that I've picked up on, but I mean the way you've framed everything is flawless. I particular credit for how well you've routed it to make the most of those moments on future holes from the one that you're currently playing whilst still staying believable, because this is a masterclass in routing in that regard. Now playability and shot values, I think really good. I think could have been better still if we bring in more undulations, more access to the ground game. I'm particularly looking at aprons around greens and your green shapes. I think if you were to have fewer little appendages to fairways and greens, that actually gives you more options because it lets people choose how much they want to take on rather than just if they can or if they can't. I'm thinking of a couple of the par 5s where it's just, or par 4s where you want to bounce the ball short and roll it on, and you can't because there's just a tiny sliver of fairway. I think if we worked on that, this would go even better. It is a nitpick, but I think that would help. Technical execution, it's really pretty good. I think the fairway shapes kind of come into this a touch, but one of the things I haven't mentioned yet is you've done elevation change masterfully on here, and you've done big elevation change before, and I felt the holes sometimes become purely about the elevation change. What I felt here was that every single time it enhanced it. I never felt, oh my god, I'm doing a massive uphill for the sake of just getting back to somewhere. And actually I thought your transition holes were really good, particularly thinking of, I want to say 8 on the that uphill hole on the front nine was brilliant. Routing, flow, cohesion, variety of holes. My one nitpick would be the par 3s. Actually, it's not a nitpick, that is an issue. The par 3s are all the same kind of length, the same kind of shot. I think if we'd had one of them at 140, that would have really helped. If we'd had also one of them slightly over 200, and just balance them out, because those two are pretty much the same and those two are pretty much the same. Or at least, I guess, make the 195 one and the 173 swap so that these two feel different, and by the time you get to these two, you haven't really realised that you've played the same length hole again and again. I think also partly because you put them all, I think, into the sun. I don't remember a bad looking par 3. 3 was in 2, 9 was in 2, 12 was in 2, 16 was in 2. One of the things I'm going to look at on the next playthrough is, well, are they all playing in pretty much exactly the same direction, and therefore is wind hitting them in the same way? If we can rotate where they're facing, you're going to get better playability, ask me to hit better shots, different shots, those sorts of things. The length of the course was perfect. There were some long 4s, there were some short 4s, there were some short 5s, there was a long 5, and everything apart from, there were 2 drivable, potentially par 4s, both of which were great. I mean, there's so much here I loved. Yeah, I think that's really all I've got. And I hope that you found this kind of useful. Some things, kind of the usual disclaimer, this is my take on it, playing the course first time round, and that's going to kind of be coloured by my own personal interpretations of, I guess, what I wanted to see at that time. And you have an idea of the course you wanted to make, and that's the most important thing. So really, does what I say kind of ring a chord? Do we think, yeah, well, maybe we could do? There's going to be some bits that you kind of can take on board and think, yep, that made sense, and others where you'll go, no, this is the way I wanted to do it, and that's all absolutely fine. But yeah, do pop me a message if you see this and kind of think that you want to chat about anything further. Really happy to. But for me, this is potentially a winner. I mean, it's the best one I've played so far, so yeah, fingers crossed for you. Look, best luck in the competition, and yeah, I hope it goes well.